So much sports to discuss. We got NFL, UFC, and maybe I have a crazy trade and maybe I don't. I'm going to leave that up to you to decide, plus a lot more to get to. It's a Monday on Barry on Deck. Lego.
Live from the BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat. Written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack, featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
What's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. Today is Monday, January 25th, 2021, and this is episode number 180 of Barry on Deck. And boy, do we have a whole lot to get to. I didn't even tweet out the damn show. That's how busy I've been. I didn't even create. Normally, when this show starts, the couple of things that I do manage to get in is one, I'll screenshot who was first, and then I'll go to Twitter and create something. Totally forgot. So, listen, we may not be as mighty as we once were, at least for this hour, and then I'll tweet it out at hour number 2, and hopefully more folks show up for the fun, because holy shit, we have lots of sports to discuss over the weekend. Obviously, AFC, NFC championship games. We know who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to go over the box scores, because there was so much to discuss that I thought getting bogged down in the minutia of the box scores this time around maybe didn't make as much sense. I want to talk about stuff like decisions on the field, what happened off the field, what did we learn from the games. Plus, we're going to talk about UFC 257. Some interesting stuff going down over there as well, and then a whole bunch of other shit we needed to get to. But as we always do, before this show starts, it started. But before we get into it, I always like to start off by saying what's up to the people and figuring out who's the greatest deckhead in the world for 2 hours, starting right now. And it is our boy B-Mart. He hadn't been around in a minute. Brandon Martinez. I mean, he's been here, but he's been busy and so forth. But hey, Brandon Martinez first in the chat. First with the super chat. First like. Get the Triple Crown. Jeff Bell, put it in the books. We have a new entry in the Triple Crowns for 2021. B-Mart, buddy, thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being first. Speaking of the chat, let's do it. Let's get to the chat. Steven, the weather guy, thought he had it. Nope. Sorry, buddy. Truck driver Poogie's in the building. D-Mata is here. Alan Denson, what up, player? I hope you're having a better day. Let's just say that. Jesus Perez, what's up, fam? Total Dallas is here. SVG is in the building. Here's Brandon. King Kong gonna whip Godzilla. I don't even know what the hell that's about. Steven the weather guy with his weather report. Current conditions at BiffNet World Headquarters. 73 degrees. Dew point, 52 degrees. Cloudy skies. 100% chance I'm back to start a new streak after shit last week. I feel you, brother. Life gets in the way and shit happens. Have no fear, fam. We're still gonna be here. Sergio, Gregory Baker Jr., what's up? Justin Swinford. Who else? G-Man, what up, Playboy? Penguin Katie's in the building. I love to see it. John Dory. Love to see it. Francisco. Uriel Villanueva. KD. CC. I like that they rhyme. Incarnate. He said, sup. I waited all weekend for this week's Barry on Tech. I know some ride with Jerry Bow. So what is a good over-under for this week's technical issues? I'm thinking over at 4.5. Should it be 10.5? I'm thinking go with 1. Go with one, just one technical issue, just one. That would set it at 1 and then figure out from there. But 1 would be where I would start. What's up, Richard Vales? The Rev is in the building. Good long time no see. Hi, Donna. How are you? And Eric Resendez, Stephen Luther Wallace, Sylvia. All right, I'm Jan. Hi. P. Jones. Hi. All right, Brian Lamb. What's up, sweetie? Okay. Oh, shit. DJ Rajancamp, what up, Barry? Good to see you still going. Haven't been on in a while, but glad to be back. Well, welcome back, DJ. We're going to talk some shit today, man. Because along with my thoughts on the games and the fights, I do have a crazy trade that I think you guys might say is a bit goofy, silly. But I want you to think of the logic of what this actually came to me in my sleep. So I don't know how much I believe it. But it was a thing. No, it's not trade Watson and JJ, but it is a Deshaun Watson trade. But I think it's going to shock you guys where I say how to trade him and why. And we'll talk about it. It's good food for thought at least. Now, before we get to all of that, there are a couple of things. No, I wasn't dreaming of Deshaun Watson, Total Dallas. I was dreaming of a trade for Deshaun Watson. Why don't you pay attention? Fuck. All right. Here's some things we need to discuss first and foremost. I got to give a big shout out to Miguel Jen. We have Super Bowl squares. Oh, yes, we do. Barry on deck. The deckheads, if you want to get in on this, you need to email Jen. Even if you're not on the Discord, you can still participate in this. But you need to email Jen at jen@barryondeck.com. That's jen@barryondeck.com. The squares are almost halfway gone already, and we haven't even really announced it other than on the Discord server. So if you want to get in on this, they are $5 a piece. None of the money is the fee. There's no fee. It's just you get your squares, and every quarter is $125. So you have a chance to win up to $500 if you win all 4 quarters. It's just how it is. So get in on the squares. Just email Jen @barryondeck.com, and she will send you the link and the code, and you'll get in and you'll pay her, and then we'll divvy up the money, and that's how it's going to go. So we do have the football squares. Almost half of them are gone already, and we really just started it at 11 a.m. So you better get in on it quick if you want to get in on it. All right? That's just how that's going to go, because when I tweet it out, I have a feeling that it's going to fill up quick. So you better get in on it. Why is House and Brandon Martinez fighting? You guys stop fighting each other. You're both mods. Stop fighting, okay? Stop fighting amongst the mods. Raggedy bitches. Uh-oh. What the hell is that? Why is this over here? I just have this USB thing. Okay. Well, here we go. Something else I need to discuss. Today, January 25th is the 1-year anniversary of us adopting Oliver. Can you believe we've had this fucking cat for a year? I told Nora, it feels like we got him just yesterday, but it's been a lifetime. It's weird. Like this, it's been a year that Oliver has been in our life. Crazy. It's absolutely insane. So today, 1 year ago, we went down to the Montgomery County Animal Shelter and adopted Oliver. And so, yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. He's been here for a year. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make him a special anniversary meal tonight. He obviously he likes to eat. He's just like his daddy. He's a eater. Boy, he can eat all day. He eats a lot. He gets fat. So I'm gonna make him a like an anniversary cake out of cat food. So I'm gonna take they make the pate, which is just it's not solid, but it's shaped like the can. I'm gonna put that down, and then I'm gonna take his gravy lovers food and sprinkle it on top, and then I'm gonna put some tuna around the outside and just let his ass go to town. He's gonna love it. No, Robert, I don't have fucking Garfield. Cats don't love lasagna, Robert. No, not lasagna. Katie said, happy gotcha day. Aaron J. Bryant, it's my son's birthday as well. Oh, so how old's your son? 9 years ago, you rescued your son from your wife's womb. Okay, that was fucking stupid. Hey, one more thing I need to discuss before we get into the sports. He is going to shit everywhere, but hopefully it's in the box. I'm not getting him a feral hooker. No, there's not a 10 years ago, Aaron J. Bryant rescued his son from his wife's uterus. Good job, Aaron. Well, I mean, you didn't, the doctors did, but it still was a thing, so congratulations. No, I'm not getting my cat a feral hooker, although if we had a girl cat and she was crazy, I wonder if you could pimp out cats. Is that a thing? That's probably inappropriate. All right, listen. One more thing I need your help on, deckheads, and this is pretty easy. A lot of you got PS5s. Well, some of you house didn't. Some of us have PS5s. And I don't know if you can see it. Right next to the game over sign, like right here where my finger is. Cal's calling me a bitch. Next to that yellow speaker, you don't really see it, but that's my PS4. And I thought about what I was going to do with it. I was like, I could probably still sell that bad boy. And I was like, you know what? That's just ridiculous, Barry. That is just ridiculous. You're lucky enough to have a PS5 because you got cool-ass friends and deckheads that help you get one. Do something good with the PS5. So I'm going to. And what I want to do with the PS5 is donate it. And so Jen, that's right. She reached out. My thought was, you know what? Who I'd like to give it to is we just got through doing a fundraiser in the Streamathon for the Bay Area Turning Point, which is an organization that provides shelter and housing for women and children and men in some cases who are victims of domestic violence and sexual violence. And so these families live in this shelter at the Bay Area Turning Point. And I thought, you know what? There's a lot of kids there. And I'm sure those kids get bored as shit in that shelter. So why not donate the PS4 to Bay Area Turning Point so that as kids come there, they have a gaming system that they can play. So I asked Jen to reach out. Bay Area Turning Point said they could use it and they would set it up. So here's what I need your help on, all right? I have a couple of games, but I want more games. I need more PS4 games to donate with this system. So I'm going to donate the games I have, and what I need you to do is if you have an old game, if you have an old PS4 games, because you've got the PS5, I need those games. All right. So if you want to ship them to me, I'm going to I'll give you my P.O. box. You can ship me the games and I will include those when I take the PS4 down to Bay Area Turning Point and give it to them. That way, these kids and some of these adults, anybody there at the Bay Area Turning Point that is trying to find an escape from their current situation has an opportunity to escape for a moment. Listen, I know for me, video games are an escape, and I don't even have near the issues or problems that some of these families are going through. So let's do some good. You're not using the games anyways. So here's what I want to do. I'm gonna put, Rev says I have some games and an extra controller. That would be dope. That would be badass. I'm gonna put my P.O. box. I should have been ahead of this. But I'm not. So I'm just going to put my P.O. box on the screen. Okay. And what I need you to do is send the games to the P.O. box. It's that simple. Oh, no, that's not done yet. 3431 Rayford Road, Spring. Oh, I'll put it in the chat as well, but I just need you to send me games, PS4 only, to that location right there. Just put them in the mail. I'm going to leave that up for a while. All right. No worries, P. Jones. Listen, if you have them, you have them. If you don't, you don't. Then that's the thing. I don't want anybody going out and buying PS4 games for this. If you just have old PS4 games laying around that you're not using, maybe you switched over to Xbox or whatever, just send them to me. I'm going to wait about a week or two, and then I'm going to take this down to Bay Area Turning Point along with these games. So if you have them, shoot them over to me. By the way, that is my P.O. box. If you want to send me stuff or whatever, just don't be weird or creepy. But that's where you can send stuff to. So 3431 Rayford Road, Suite 200-416, Spring 77386. Send me your PS4 games, and we're going to help some folks in the process. So I'm going to leave that right there for a little while, but that's what we're doing. And I will make sure that they get there. And yeah, Matt Pochet said, let's get a list going on Discord. That's a great idea. And Jen said there is a post on the Discord under video games. So let's get the games going out. Jen, if you would, just throw that address, my P.O. Box address on the post, and then we'll make sure that those that are on the Discord can get them to me. And if you're not on the Discord, there it is right there. And I'll kind of explain that as we go for people that pop in and out of during the show. Okay, so that's all the non-show stuff that I wanted to discuss today. Let's get to the sports. What the hell happened to my headlines? That was weird. My headlines are gone. Here we go. Let's get to the sports headlines for the day. Astros traded lefty reliever Cieno Perez to the Reds. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, wow, this means absolutely garbage. Nothing. He's a 5+ ERA for his career. It's not a big deal. This was just making a roster spot for Michael Brantley, who they say is, close to, if he hasn't already that I missed it, signing a new 2-year contract with the Astros. So all this was a roster move. So settle down, Astros fans. Major League Baseball Players Association rejected the universal DH, expanded playoffs, and a lot more that was proposed by Major League Baseball. Kind of disappointed in this. I'm kind of disappointed that universal DH is not a thing. But you live to fight another day. I don't know why they think that watching pitchers hit is good for baseball, but it's garbage and it sucks and it's stupid. So it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Baseball players and the Baseball Players Association has a lot of power, a lot of say, a lot of pull, and it's garbage. So Chiefs left tackle Eric Fisher out for the Super Bowl with a torn Achilles. That sucks. They feared it last night. You saw people going over and patting him on the head. Andy Reid talked about it afterwards, and now they've confirmed Chiefs left tackle out for the Super Bowl with a torn Achilles. That sucks. Also, big loss for the Chiefs too. When your starting left tackle is gone, that means a lot. Coach K apologized to a student reporter for his retort. He was asked a question right after the game and got snippy with his response to the student, and he was like, I don't know, what do you do after you fail a test? He kind of got shitty with him, and so he's since apologized because everybody's like, whoa, coach, it's just a kid. Also, the Grizzlies have their 5th straight game postponed because of COVID. I tell you what, between the Wizards and the Grizzlies, it is not going good for Major League for the NBA and dealing with COVID. A lot of games being lost right now. I feel like the NBA regrets not having another bubble for the season. It's almost like what they could have done is started the season in the bubble. And I thought about this. This would have made a lot more sense than what they're doing. You knew vaccines were on the way. You didn't know when you could get them, but start the season in the bubble. Just go ahead and set it up. You already had the infrastructure. You were there. Start the season in the bubble. And then maybe at the All-Star break, if everybody's vaccinated or things, then you could get rid of the bubble and go back to a normal travel schedule and start having fans show up. Just doesn't make sense. But now they're losing a lot of games. So kind of stupid. Look at Andy. No universal DH. Good. Andy Huggins, I love you to death, but this is the most ridiculous stance you have on sports. Why are you such a proponent of watching fucking Justin Verlander? He's in the American League. Why are you such a proponent of watching a pitcher hit? No one wants to see Dallas Keuchel hit. I mean, maybe a few people. It's just garbage. It's garbage. It would be like you should make all defensive linemen have to throw at least one deep bomb on a team. It's like, that's not what they do. That's not what they train for. I just don't understand it. I mean, pitchers hitting at one point made sense when they played both ways, but they don't anymore. They don't. That's why you have a punter and a kicker, because you focus on one thing, right? A lot of times your punter doesn't kick field goals. They may be the emergency backup, but it's not what they do. It's not what they specialize in. Pitchers don't hit. They pitch. It's bad. It's bad. And honestly, Andy, and I know you're an old school baseball guy, it's going to be bad for the game going forward. It's going to be bad. I think that you've got to freshen up this game. You've got to make it it can't be so old school. So I think they need if you want to attract younger audiences to the game. Andy's like, no universal. Good. I don't get it, Andy. I don't get it. I love you, but that's your worst sports take ever. Baseball's not going to die out, Justin. It's still my favorite sport. It's not going anywhere. It's still a huge part of people's lives. Huge. So I don't think it's going anywhere. Okay, let's talk about the NFL. I didn't get a slide made for Bucks Packers. Andy said, what do I care about the younger fans? I mean, I thought you loved the sport of baseball, Andy. If you love the sport of baseball, then you would want to make sure that the younger generations can also grow up and enjoy or do grow up and enjoy watching the sport of baseball. I just think it needs a little refresher. That's all. Why don't we have one fielding person have to pitch an inning? That's the equivalent. That's like saying, all right, you've got to designate one guy in the field to throw at least one relief appearance a game. So you got to bring in your first. It just like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It's not what they do. It's not what they specialize in. I don't know. Luis Alea said they should modernize the game, like allow technology to be used. Now that I'm for it. I'm sure Huggins is against this too, but I've been a proponent of this for years now. Years. I think they should start using the automated strike zones. I'm sorry, you still need an umpire. You still have a guy behind the plate, but there's absolutely no reason with all the computer technology we have today to not have the strike zone automated where the umpire just has a little handheld thing and if it's a strike, it's red. If it's a ball, it's green. And when it happens, he just goes strike and he calls it out. And you can still hold up the numbers and tell people what the count is, but it's automated. There's no reason we can't do that. No reason. Make steroids mandatory. Shut up, House. That's the stupidest idea. Actually, I just say don't let them have steroids. Who gives a shit? All right, let's talk NFL football. Let's talk about these games. Let's start with Bucks Packers. And let's start with I'm going to save my rant. But let's start with the decision by Matt LaFleur to go for it or to kick a field goal. Can we just talk about Matt LaFleur for a second? Because that's the real controversy in this Bucks Packers game, right? Why did Matt LaFleur decide you're down 31-23? Why did you're on the 8? It's fourth and goal on the 8-yard line. You got a little over 2 minutes left. You've got basically 4 timeouts because you got the 2-minute warning plus 3. So why do you choose to kick a field goal? Well, I'll tell you what he said. I can show you the reasons that he gave. This is what LaFleur said. He said several things factored into the decision. First thing that factored into the decision, they had thrown 3 incomplete passes in a row. Great, but it's Aaron Rodgers. The second one is they need the need for a 2-point conversion on top of the touchdown. Okay, it's Aaron Rodgers. And then they said that the 2-minute warning was like having a 4th timeout, so he felt comfortable that they could get the ball back. Okay, but it's Aaron Rodgers. And his quote was, it was just the circumstances of having 3 shots and coming away with no yards. Bro, that's absolutely ridiculous. And here's the thing. So you had 3 incompletions in a row. Guess what? Even if you get the ball back, that same offense has to go out against that same defense. And I realize it might be at a different location on the field, but it's still the same players on both sides of the ball. It's an absolutely ridiculous statement to say that. And the math doesn't even make sense. That's the biggest part about this. Nobody on that team had the wherewithal to go to Matt LaFleur and say, bro, this doesn't add up. You still need a touchdown. Even if you kick the field goal, you still need a touchdown. So you need a touchdown whether you do or you don't. And do you think it's going to be easier to score a touchdown if you hold them and they punt and now the field position has you behind the 50-yard line? Or being on the 8-yard line with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, Devontae Adams as a wide receiver? You have one more shot to make this happen. What's the worst that happens? You're gonna still have to score if you hold them 3 and out, right? If you don't get the onside kick, which is probably not going to happen, if you just, kick the field goal and kick off and think you're going to pin them deep and hold them, the same thing. What if your kickoff pins them on the 8? It's the same thing. You still have to go and score. It made 0 sense to me. None. And there's no logical explanation for it whatsoever. Matt LaFleur cost his team potentially the game by kicking a field goal and not trying to score. Because if you got 4 timeouts, great. Guess what? You have 2 opportunities to make a touchdown. But by kicking a field goal, now you only get maybe 1 chance, possibly 0 more chances to score. It just made no sense. No, a touchdown. Yeah. Oh, you're saying the second time, but you got to get the ball back. That's just it. You had to get the ball back regardless. Whether you kick the field goal or go for the touchdown and miss, you still have to get the ball back. It did not make sense in any way, shape, or form. There's no reason mathematically you're down by 4. Now, if you're down by 6 and you kick a field goal, I get it. Now it makes sense because, you could get the ball back, and if you could be on the 40 and pray you make a 57-yarder. It just didn't make sense, the fact that you still needed another touchdown. Doesn't make sense. So, Matt LaFleur probably, to me, and I would, ask Packers fans or beat writers or whatever, but, there was tension between Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur in the past. And there's been discussions is Aaron Rodgers bought into this whole Packers thing? And, Matt said, look, he's our guy. I want him back. And I'm sure he's supposed to say those things. You don't say you don't want Aaron Rodgers to come back on your team again. But I don't know that Aaron would want to come back. I think in this relationship, the contention isn't necessarily, this is a one-way thing here. I don't think Aaron Rodgers likes Matt LaFleur. As much as he's bought into it and as well as he played, I think he's disgruntled with Matt LaFleur, and the fact that they went out and got a quarterback in the draft last year, moved up to do it, I think fueled his fire this year, pissed him off, made him go out and win another MVP, and has probably sealed his fate in wanting to be traded with 2 years left on his contract. So he's disgruntled. Does he want to be back? I don't know. Well, Justin Swinford brings up a point, which isn't even the crazy trade that I of in my dreams last night. But hey, if Aaron Rodgers wants out, would you trade Deshaun Watson for 2 years of Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, I think I would. If Deshaun Watson wants out, I'd rather not have to trade. But if he wanted out and Aaron wanted out, now they both have no trade clauses and they can both decide where they want to go. I doubt very seriously Aaron Rodgers would want to be a Texan. Somebody said send him to the 49ers. That would make sense. Don't send him to the Vikings. That's where Packer quarterbacks go to die. Yeah, but I mean, maybe he would want to go play in Kyle Shanahan's offense in San Francisco. But that's going to be interesting to see how it shakes up. I'm the Nostradamus. I don't know what's going to happen. It is a big cap hit if the Packers trade Rodgers. But if he's disgruntled and doesn't want to play, what if you have no choice? What if he just decides he wants to sit out? I mean, this is a guy with 2 years left on his contract that keeps talking about the fact that, I don't know what my future is. Bro, you have 2 years left on your contract. What do you mean you don't know what your future is? All signs point to he don't want to be there. So that's the first part of that. Matt LaFleur basically outsmarted himself in that game. Second thing that I thought was a really cool thing at the end of this game. You probably caught it, I don't know, but I told Nora it was pretty cool to see of all the stuff going on. I mean, you're going back to another Super Bowl, you're Tom Brady, and the one thing he wanted to do was go see his son in the stands, which I thought was the coolest shit, man. You're out there, he even dropped the game ball, just dropped it on the field and ran over there, and then was nice enough not to be like, I'm Tom fucking Brady, but he was like, hi, can I talk to my son? Like, he's being polite to the usher to let his son come down. Then his son comes down. We don't know what is said, but it was a really cool moment, right? I mean, I thought it was cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sap. Maybe I'm a dope. Maybe I'm just too emo for sports. But I just thought that was a really cool thing to see a dad wanting to see his son and being excited about wanting to see his son, right? Well, I say we don't know what happened, but we do. They had Tom Brady mic'd up, and this was the exchange between Brady and his son. Check this out. It's really dope.
Can I just say hi to my son? Love you, kiddo. How about that?
Good job.
We're gonna go to the Super Bowl, baby. What do you think? I love you, man. Way to go. I'll see you. I'll call you a little bit later.
All right, I love you.
All right, love you, kiddo.
It's pretty dope. I mean, look, you can talk all the shit you want in the chat, make fun of him or whatever. That's pretty dope. And there's not a single one of you in this goddamn chat that's talking shit about Tom Brady that wouldn't want to do that with your son or daughter. Pretty cool. Sean's like, I still hate him. Oh, Sean, I got to be honest with you, buddy. I used to hate him so much. Mainly because he was with the Patriots. And I hated the Patriots for so many reasons. The first one being that the team that I root for couldn't stop trying to be like them. I don't hate Tom Brady anymore. I just don't. One, he's like Sergio said, he's the GOAT. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL, period, end of story. Now, what I'm about to say is going to hurt some feelings. And what I'm about to say is probably going to upset some people or you're going to say I'm crazy. Well, this won't be the first or the last time. But I think this year we figured out who was the piece of the puzzle that made things happen in New England. Tom Brady is greater than Bill Belichick. Fight me, bitches. Don't at me. I don't give a shit. We now know 1 year apart. Let's look at what happens with these two individuals. One of them goes to another Super Bowl and the other one completely misses the playoffs. Just no debate anymore. There's no debate. Tom Brady is the reason that the Patriots were as good as they were. Also, let's go back and look at track record. Tom Brady drafted late. No one was hot on him. He comes in. He fills in for Drew Bledsoe, and the rest is literally history. When Belichick was with the Browns, what was his record? I don't know. I could look it up. I can tell you this. He wasn't lauded as the most amazing head coach in the history of the NFL. It's amazing what happens when coaches don't have stars. Look at Pop in San Antonio. I still think Pop is a great basketball mind and one of the best head coaches to ever coach in the NBA. But without a true superstar, how good is he? Maybe, it's like they always say, oh, coaches get all the credit and all the blame. Quarterbacks get all the credit and all the blame. Well, I tell you what, in this scenario, or if you're from the Midwest or the East Coast scenario, or you're just an idiot and say scenario. We have 1 year of them apart. And everyone's like, oh, well, Belichick will be back if he gets a quarterback. Well, guess what? Tom Brady didn't have Bill Belichick, and he did just fine. Bill Belichick didn't have Tom Brady, and he didn't do shit. And still had a top 10 defense. So miss me with all that, well, it was just a quarterback. Bro, you had one of the best defenses in football again, and you couldn't even make the playoffs. They were like, Cam Newton was one of the worst quarterbacks. True. But if Bill Belichick is so good, he can win with anybody, right? Let's be real about this Tampa Bay team. There was one point in this season when they had lost to Kansas City where they were clinging to a wild card. And many of you and me thought they might not even make the playoffs. That's a fact. Go back, look it up. At one point, Tampa's record was like, if they don't quit messing around, they're going to miss the playoffs. And here we are. You fast forward since that loss, and they're in the Super Bowl. And by the way, since we're on that subject, Tony Romo's a genius because he called it after that game. Check this out.
Do you want me to make a slight guess here? I think there's a better than good chance. I don't know what even that percentage is that these two are going to be here in Tampa. Wow.
Well. And that was after KC beat Tampa. And that was at the moment in the season where everyone was like, they might not make a wild card. That was at that moment. They might not make the wild card if they keep playing this bad. And here we are. Now, I see in the chat some of y'all are talking about Brady's performance. One, I will say this. I had even written down as a note, because I make notes on the games, and sometimes I forget to use them on the show, which is easier. It's easier on radio because you don't see me looking at my notes, but I feel like I'm cheating and I could probably put them on the screen, but that Fournette run, by the way, holy shit. If he did that all the time, Derek who? Holy shit. That Fournette run was outstanding. But one of the notes that I made, now, we can talk about accuracy in a second, but look at my notes. One of the notes that I made, Brady still has zip on the ball. Well, focus, you raggedy bitch. Come on. Oh, well. Tom Brady was still throwing lasers. Now, was he off a little bit? Was he inaccurate? Yeah, a little bit. At one point, though, if you'll recall, one of the interceptions that went off the fingertips of Evans, one of them was just a duck that he threw to Evans. That was just a duck. Like, that was a panic. He didn't want to take a sack, so he throws it up. And that's one of those, well, shit happens sometimes. But the other one went off the fingertips of Evans and was intercepted by the Packers after Rodgers was like, come on, defense, we got to get a stop. Remember that? We got to get a stop, defense. Let's get a stop. And then they get that interception. I don't remember if it was Keyshawn or who it was, but somebody said, listen, it's the NFL. You're Mike Evans. You're one of the best receivers. You have to make that catch. If it hits your fingertips, you have to pull that ball in. So was it a little high? Yes. Was it dead on the numbers? No. That is a catchable ball by a receiver. So was Tom Brady the most accurate passer we've ever seen? No. But spare me the, Brady played like shit. Brady got this team to the Super Bowl. And go back and look at the film and go back and talk to these coaches and players. In fact, at the end of the first, it was his prodding and decision to go for a touchdown instead of settling for a field goal at that point. And he dropped an absolute dime in the process. So miss me with that. He's inaccurate and shit. I don't want to hear it. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, and I don't even like the dude. Well, I didn't. I kind of like Brady now. Brady is GOAT, but so is Bill. Well, let's just see. But after year one, Brady, greater than Bill, period. There's no disputing that. One's in the Super Bowl, and one's been home since the playoffs started. And Cam Newton played like shit, but I would expect the head coach to be able to get some better play out of Cam. Thank you, Sergio. At least there's one rational human being that understands. Yeah, Father Time is undefeated. That is a fact, White Magic. That is a fact. COVID year. Don't even start with that. Everybody played under the same COVID rules. Sean said, can we do lawn talk? All this Brady talk is killing me. Hey, look, tell the dude not to make it to the Super Bowl and be a badass and we won't have to talk about him, Sean. Jeez. You guys. Chandler said, look at that Pat squad. They didn't have anyone. They had a better defense than the Bucs. What are you talking about? That was a Bill Belichick defense, which, by the way, somebody told me, I think it was Pac-Man Joel, that said, oh, you're crazy. Belichick's not going to have that defense. Look how many players they lost. I'm like, bro, Belichick can coach a defense. I don't give a fuck. Sure enough, that was a top 10 defense over there. Points allowed, I think they gave up less points than the Bucs did. And the Bucs are a Super Bowl caliber defense. Look what they did to the Packers offense. I'm telling you. It's not like he had a shitty squad that you have a top 10 defense and you're telling me you can't even make the playoffs? Here, let's go over here. Let's look at all the top 10 defenses. We're going to do this together. And I don't even know the answer to this, but I'm curious to see. And I might be wrong on this, but my assumption is everybody that had a top 10 defense made the playoffs. That's just an assumption. We're going to find out. Let's go stats. I'll pull this up. Teams. Don't show the bookmark bar because people are fucking weird. Share my screen. Complete leaders. We're going to sort by points and we're going to see the top 10. No, poor Joel. I texted him, Luis. No. I was like, you all right, buddy? He was like, yeah, it sucks. All right, here you go. There's your top 10 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, regular season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What the fuck am I looking at? Wow, are they not top 10? I could have sworn they were top 10. Oh, I'll be damned. What was I looking at? I wonder if I had it sorted wrong. Wow. All right, well, there you go. Where was, why is this only 10? What's going on here? Why is there only 1, 2? I'm so confused. All the teams aren't on here. Oh, these are all the playoff teams. What the fuck is going on here? Hold on. Hold on. Amos said, didn't all the Pats starting secondary opt out of the season? Yeah, but why is this? This is so weird. Oh, and now my mouse quit working. Genius. Oh, there's postseason. Let's see. Regular season. There we go. Points per game. Okay. I was freaking out for a second. Let me share this again. There we go. 2020 regular season. Here's all the teams. We weren't showing all the teams. Pete Jones said, you didn't text me when the Saints lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right there. There's your top 10 points allowed. 18, 18, 19, 20. Colts, playoffs. Giants didn't make the playoffs. Okay. Bucks made the playoffs. Patriots didn't make the playoffs. Dolphins should have made the playoffs. They didn't. Saints, Washington football team, Steelers, Rams, and Ravens. So, of all those in the mix, really the Giants don't make the most sense. They had a good defense and didn't do shit, didn't make the playoffs. But guess what? You guys, right there. Patriots had a better, or just as good by 0.1, defense as the Bucks. Did not make the playoffs. So, again, don't sit there and say that he had a shitty team. You had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th best points allowed defense in the NFL. You can't do nothing with that? Bill Belichick? I expect that the Giants would be top 10 and not make the playoffs. I would expect that the Dolphins would be top 10 and not make the playoffs because they don't have the greatest coach of all time. But if you have the 7th best defense in the NFL and you can't make the playoffs, are you the greatest coach of all time? Chandler said, so a good defense is a good team. If you're the greatest coach of all time, it should be. Absolutely, if you're the greatest coach of all time. Yeah, I know. So his defense was good. Super. But how was his team? I don't know what to tell you. Where did they end up in scoring offense? Let's see. Oh, boy. They were bad. White Magic, that's don't care if y'all think I'm off on this. I'm just telling, I knew, y'all don't think when I tweeted out Brady greater than Belichick that people weren't going to lose their shit. But prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Yeah, well, Darren Castillo said preach Barry. Patriots scored 20 points a game, gave up 22. That ain't gonna get it done. Patriots had the only teams with worst offenses than the Patriots were the Broncos, Bengals, Jags, Giants, and Jets. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. The Washington football team had a bad offense and they made the playoffs. Just, y'all can hate all you want. Brady, to me, after this season, is better than Belichick. If Bill Belichick was the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, how can he not make the playoffs with a top 10 defense? Just doesn't make sense to me. And look, people are making Trent Dilfers and the Joe Flaccos. And look, there are plenty of defenses, dominant defenses that make the playoffs without great quarterback play. Where are they? I don't know. Also, one other thing that I think is going to, since we're just, since you guys are calling me out for bullshit takes and controversy, let's just go ahead and get into my trade. Actually, real quick, let's just do the other game. Bills Chiefs wasn't close. This was the battle of future Texans head coaches, right? Leslie Frazier versus Eric Bieniemy. Who's going to get the head coaching job at the half? This is all Bieniemy's job to lose, right? Then they roll. And I think some people were saying that the loser of this game would get the gig because he would become available. Otherwise, the Texans would have to wait a couple of weeks until after the Super Bowl. Who gives a shit? I would much rather have a winning head coach than a losing head coach. So it doesn't make sense, the rationale of, well, whoever loses might actually get the job. What? What? Why? I think I would want the Super Bowl winning coach, whether it be the DC of the Bills or the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs, to be my next head coach. By the way, both Leslie Frazier and Eric Bieniemy, have started assembling staffs just in case they are chosen to be the next head coach of the Texans. I just find it interesting that you're like, well, whoever loses, that's who we want. What? Especially when you look at what that offense did against that defense. Pretty gross, actually. So we have our Super Bowl matchup. It's the Chiefs versus the Bucs. And Patrick Mahomes came out and talked about what it meant to him to be playing against Tom Brady. And he said, quote, to go up against one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of all time in his 150th Super Bowl is going to be a great experience. His 150th Super Bowl. That is hilarious. Good shit, Patrick Mahomes. Good shit. So that's Mahomes on playing against Tom Brady. I'm excited. I think this is a good matchup. I think this is a good matchup. I'm here for it. I like to see it. And is it the two best teams? No. I really believe, well, I mean, look, I thought the Packers were the best team. I thought we were going to see Chiefs Packers. I did. So maybe the Bucs are the best team. I mean, by record and wins in the playoffs, they are. Our defense is pretty good. Are they going to be able to contain the Chiefs? I don't know. So we talked a little bit about the coaching. And so you really think that the Bucs were the better team? I mean, look, I think the Packers did themselves a disservice in the way that they coached. I think, I mean, you're right in that. Look, that's what the playoffs decide. Who's the best team in each conference, the AFC and the NFC. But I would have thought going in that the Packers on both sides of the ball were better. I don't know that I'm bought in necessarily to Fournette being a legitimate threat. But if he runs like he did yesterday and catches the ball out of the backfield like he did yesterday, and Brady is a little more accurate, maybe you're right, House. Maybe you're right. So let's talk a little bit about, did I miss, I feel like I missed a super chat earlier because I just saw one come in from my brother. I feel like I missed one. Did I miss a super chat, you guys? If I did, I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to. I don't think I did. But Ray, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, homie. Where's did I just let me know? Well, let me know if I did. If I did, I'll try to go back and find it. And I apologize to whoever it was if I missed it. Oh. Nope. There's Brandon Martinez triple. I think that's it. Okay, good. I don't think I missed one. We're good. We are good. Fournette went from the Jags to playing in the Super Bowl, right? Okay, so that's put a pin in the Jags. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But real quick, there was talk of coaches and the Texans and whatnot, and which one was Leslie Frazier or Eric Bieniemy going to be the head coach of the Texans next? And now there's a report out that's saying it doesn't matter who the next head coach of the Texans is going to be because Deshaun Watson is still leaving, and that's not going to change his mind. Even though if he wanted Bieniemy, it's not going to change his mind now. This is according to the Mort Report and Adam Schefter, both as Chris Mortensen reported on ESPN's postseason NFL Countdown. Texans head coaching hire is not expected to change Deshaun Watson's thinking. He is still expected to want out of Houston no matter who the head coach is, per sources. So a couple of things on this front, and one of them is going to be this trade scenario that I talk about that you guys are going to freak out about. But People are all over Jalen Ramsey saying that he should be suffering a fine for tampering charges because Deshaun Watson had put out a post on his IG talking about whatever he was talking about. And Jalen Ramsey commented and said, quote, looks like an LA man, to be honest. Well, number one, what a slap in the face to Jared Goff. If I'm Jared Goff, wow, bro, really? You just on me like that? That ain't cool. Second thing is that tampering? I mean, come on. If we're going to call that tampering, you don't think that those two don't have each other's numbers and can't talk and not tell anybody? Come on, fam. You're not fooling me with this tampering bullshit. That's not tampering. In the strictest sense of the rule, maybe it is, but it's a stupid fucking rule. Players should be allowed to comment on other players. GMs and people with hiring powers amongst these franchises should not be able to hop on Deshaun's IG and be like, hey, come play for the Rams. That, my friends, is tampering. But a player commenting on another player is ridiculous, and it's not tampering. They recruit each other. Trust me when I tell you. I can't give you specifics, but trust me when I tell you, players talk about joining each other all the time. Just don't do it on IG. But it's a stupid rule. It's a stupid rule. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they should all get rid of those tampering bullshit charges that they pile up on players for shit like that. And I mean, look, if a head coach says it, okay. If a GM says it, okay. But that, come on, y'all. That ain't tampering. But if I'm Jared Goff, I ain't happy about it. I'll tell you that much. Goff's got bigger fish to fry, though. All right, so let's talk about... Oh, it's 2:53. I don't want to get into that. I'm going to do my crazy trade scenario on the other side, because I don't want to do it now and then have to go to a break. So we'll just call that a nice little tease. You guys are going to think maybe I'm a crazy buffoon and a fool. I mean, you probably think that anyways. I don't give a shit. But before then, Lamb Bomb. We got to do a shot. Josh, a.k.a. 713 Hooligan, with the Lamb Bomb shot time. Let's do it. Let me get my shit. Hold on. Got my Jamie. Josh, I appreciate you in the super chat, homie. Very much so, my friend. Very much so. So, this shot, I normally shoot for all the deckheads. Not doing that today. No. This just goes out to one person. This is for you, Josh, and only you. And the rest of you can suck it because you think I'm crazy. But Josh, buddy, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being a deckhead. Thanks for helping me fix my window. Thanks for everything, Josh. Cheers to you, buddy. So good. It's weird how sometimes it's good. And I could do one more and it would just be like, that'd be the worst shit ever. It's always weird how that works. All right, so it is 2:54. No, we're not trading Deshaun Watson to Dallas. Shut your damn whore mouth, Dr. Dre on 290. It's not happening. It is not happening. Sergio said, damn, we're taking adult-sized shots. Hey, yeah, it's a Barry on Deck shotgun. By the way, let's clear this up. Let me get to Crazy Cam. You see this? That's the rest of the beanies. So every beanie, if you qualified to get the thank you gift from the Discord, if you're a member of the Patreon and you're a huge deckhead and have been so for the last 6 months, then you are going to get one of these in the mail in the next day or two if you haven't gotten it already. So if you're on the Discord, or excuse me, if you're on the Patreon and you have been on there for the last at least 6 months as a huge deckhead, then you're getting one of those free in the mail from me as my way of saying thank you. If you have not, or you are not, or maybe you're a big deckhead, or maybe you just joined us as a huge deckhead last month, you can buy them. They are available. But I'm not going to tell you where yet until tomorrow. I want to give those that are on the Discord and those that are on the Patreon a chance to buy them first. But those last few will go out in the mail, and then you will have the opportunity to buy them. There's less than 50 available. So they're probably going to sell out, I hope. Also, I just want to point out, there are 15 shot glasses left, and then I'm not ordering anymore. That's it. So if you do not have a Barry on Deck shot glass for your very own with Oliver on the back that says Deckhead, then you need to get on it. Go to barryondeck.com/shop. barryondeck.com/shop. And you'll be able to get your shot glass, and maybe the beanies are up already. I don't know. All right, look. Also, by the way, just as a quick reminder before we get to this break, if you have any PS4 games that you don't play anymore for whatever reason, you switch to Xbox, you got a PS5, can you send those to this address for me so that I can, when I donate my PS4 to the Bay Area Turning Point, which if you missed at the beginning of the show, these folks provide shelter, housing, food, clothing, and other necessities to men, women, and children who are victims of sexual assault, sexual violence, and domestic violence. So this is a place where kids live in shelter until their parents can find a better alternative and they get out of that toxic relationship. So what I thought is, I'm going to donate my old PS4 now that I have a PS5. I'm going to donate my PS4 to Bay Area Turning Point so that these kids have a little break, have a little, something different in their lives to take their mind off of their current situation. So what I need from you is games for that PS4. So if you have any, send them to this address. That's my P.O. box. I'll get them. I got 2 weeks to get them to me. Right there, that address, and I'll take those games with that PS4, and we will also make a difference in some kids' lives and help them take their minds off of where they're at. Okay. Now, I will put it in the description. That's a good point, Sergio. I will make sure I put that in the description of the show when it's over. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to be back in 5 minutes or less, or it's free. Don't go anywhere. If you smoke, go smoke. Even if it's weed, not crack though. Say no to crack, smoke some weed. If you drink, I don't know, go take a shot. If you got to poop or pee, go do that as well. We're back in 5 minutes right here on Barry on Deck. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you. I'm Barry Laminack, and this isn't what happened in sports. Let's start with the NFL, where Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans is reportedly considering asking for a trade after the team asked him for his input on new coaches and GM hires and then ignored the quarterback. The Texans value his opinion less than my wife values mine at Bed Bath & Beyond, apparently. Andre Johnson tweeted that the, quote, Texans organization has always wasted talent, which had some steam and momentum, but then David Carr retweeted it, and there went that. After the Buffalo Bills won their playoff game, a fan celebrated by jumping on a flaming table, catching himself on fire. That's how cold it is in Buffalo. That's also how it felt to be a Bills fan for 2 decades, and guys, no need to look it up. He's white. 43-year-old Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks bested 42-year-old Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints in their playoff matchup this past weekend. I guess the Bucks proved that their dad could beat up the Saints' dad. From the world of the NBA, James Harden finally got traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Dude's built like the Burger King, so I'm not shocked he went to BK. And despite leaving the Rockets, James Harden's new restaurant, 13, is opening on schedule here in the city of Houston. And keeping on brand, the restaurant requires you to order by phoning it in. Also, a schedule note for the restaurant. It will, of course, shut down early between April and June. So, some of the more popular items on the menu include their stripper steak served with mashed potatoes. There's the Harden-inspired burger that is all beef and no goat. And then, of course, I hear that the Selfish is pretty good when it's in season. As you can see from the menu items, it's more of a entree-focused restaurant. But as for Harden himself, well, he's really more of a desserter. In other sports news, the PGA of America announced that the 2022 PGA Championship will no longer be played at Donald Trump's New Jersey golf course. It's pretty on the nose that that course is literally filled with red flags. The University of Tennessee's football program is under investigation after allegedly giving recruits money stuffed in McDonald's bags, and after a 3-7 record, I assume they got their players off the dollar menu. A golfer in California got a rare condor when he shot a 2 on a par 6 while wearing jeans, further proving that golf just isn't a real sport. And finally, ex-NBA star Charles Barkley said athletes should be able to jump the line for COVID vaccines because they pay more in taxes, which is a weird way to say poor people should die. After someone called Barkley elitist, he responded, "Nope, I am not elitist. Some of my best butlers are poor." Seriously, guys, who cares? Let him jump the line. It'll be the only time Barkley ever came in first at anything. I'm Barry Laminack. That's not what happened in sports. Hey, welcome back to hour number 2 of Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for sticking around through the break. If you did, if you didn't, go fuck yourself. I mean, you're not here to hear it, but why? Why would you leave at a critical juncture like now when I'm going to give you a trade scenario in which I think I'm a genius and you're probably going to be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I mean, you probably do that anyways. But now I think I'm giving you a good reason to. Hey, before we get into that trade scenario and UFC 257 talk and how much you're paying for streaming and everything else, real quick, I would like to take a moment to brag about Hemp Vita. Can I? Because my neck, my back, my neck started hurting this weekend. And in fact, it was actually a muscle in the middle of my back. Yes, I have muscles. And it was killing me. And I put some Hemp Vita gel on it and did a little like Nora massaged it for a moment. Gone. Pain gone. I'm back 100%. Never felt better. Guys, I'm telling you, if you suffer from any of the following things, pay attention because you absolutely need this CBD in your life. Whether it's inflammation, pain relief, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, or you just need to relax more. And some of you really need to relax. Plus, your pets maybe suffer from, they get anxiety when fireworks or gunshots go off if you live in a bad neighborhood or thunder. I don't know what your deal is. But they make products for pets. That's the point. And CBD has been known to help with all those things I just mentioned and more. Check them out. HempVitaCBD.com is where you go. Get the gel, get the gummies. You're going to love it. Use promo code DECKHEAD15 when you check out. That's promo code DECKHEAD15 when you check out. You're going to save 15% on your order. And look, when you order, I want you to tell me what you got and how it helped you because I love getting the testimonials. By the way, while we're talking, about good stuff, let me tell you about Dan's Seafood and Wings. Happy to have Dan's and Boiling Dragon and Crab Kings back on for another 3 months. Thank you to David, too, and everybody over at the conglomerate of restaurants that they have for continuing to support Barry on Deck. And because they do, I'm going to ask you to please support Barry on Deck by going and eating at Dan's. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Eat at Dan's 1. On Instagram, it's Eat at Dan's, whether it's the boiled spicy shrimp, the New Orleans barbecue shrimp, the grilled platter, the lo mein. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, Dan's is the truth. Some of the best seafood in the city of Houston, hands down. It's the best. Go to eatatdans.com right now. Eatatdans.com. Check out their menu. Check out their locations. Make sure you hop on board because Dan's is the... In fact, I got to be honest with you. When I announced that Dan's was back advertising on the show again, because there was this small little window where it had lapsed, and I reached out to David. He's like, yeah, let's do it again. Sorry, I've been busy. Let's go. Let's keep running this, man. You guys are awesome. And you are, deckheads. But Nora, I told her, I was like, babe, I got Dan's back and Crab Kings and Boiling Dragon all back together. She was like, man, I'm so happy, babe, because Dan's is so good. She loved it. I loved it. You're going to love it. Try Dan's. Eatatdans.com. Okay, let's go. Talk trade scenario. So here, this came to me last night in a dream. And you're probably going to say I'm foolish. You don't know Dan personally, Tony. Shut your whore mouth. Joe Pro said, hemp Vita cream and 90 proof. Spells relaxed. Okay. This hit me in a dream last night. And I think I have solved a problem for the Texans. And quite possibly another team. Now, there's a snag in this, but it's not so crazy as you would think. Hear me and hear me good, people. What if there was a way, like Deshaun, let's just, and look, again, I'm operating under the assumption that Deshaun Watson doesn't want to be here anymore, that he wants to be traded. And he has obviously he has a no trade clause, so he can say no. There's a new coach in Jacksonville. Hear me out. Shut up. If you're Urban Meyer, do you want to make your NFL coaching debut with an unproven quarterback? Trevor Lawrence. Because that's obviously what they're going to do, right? They're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. Do you want to draft and risk building a career on an unproven commodity, or would you rather trade that first pick and maybe a few others in the division and go get Deshaun Watson? And look, Rev is saying Texans aren't trading him in the division. I get that. I've said that. I've said that. But think about this for a second, Rev. Think about this for a second, Reverend, and everybody else that's caused this saying I'm crazy. What are the chances you get another talent like Trevor Lawrence with any of these other picks from the Jets? You're not getting the first pick in the draft. If you don't get the first pick in this draft, you're not getting Trevor Lawrence. I think everybody agrees Trevor Lawrence is probably a franchise caliber quarterback for an NFL team. So what better thing to do than replace a franchise caliber quarterback with another franchise caliber quarterback? He's the most sure bet, I think, right now when you talk to the experts. Well, you guys, that's your opinions. But when you talk to people that actually know shit, here's the thing. You're taking a huge risk. You're already taking a risk. Unless your plan is to sign Phillip Rivers or trade for Aaron Rodgers or Matt Stafford, which I would highly recommend you don't do. I want to see the Texans trade Deshaun Watson for Matt Stafford to Detroit, who, by the way, they're saying they're moving on. They're done. That scares the shit out of me. Matt Stafford hasn't done shit. But here's the thing. If you're a new head coach, if you're Eric Bieniemy, would you rather go out and have one of these retreads? Or would you rather have a guy that, Eric did some things with Patrick Mahomes? And I'm not comparing Trevor Lawrence to Patrick Mahomes, but I'm telling you, he's worked with young quarterbacks. I know it seems crazy because it's in the division, but both teams win. Both teams get a franchise quarterback. Otherwise, you're going to trade Deshaun Watson for what? You're probably not going to get Aaron Rodgers to agree to come down here. You're probably, if you Matt Stafford or re-sign Phillip Rivers or whatever. There's just, to me, I would much rather have the opportunity to get a franchise caliber quarterback again, which is why, since it's in the division, you got to think the Jags are thinking, no way we want to give Trevor Lawrence, but you're getting Deshaun Watson. So it's a win-win for both teams in the division, and crazier things have happened. The Yankees and the Red Sox just made a trade. Now, the catch on this whole thing is, Deshaun Watson, there's no chance that he would go to the Jags, right? There's no chance, right? There's no chance. I mean, he was on a 4-12 team. Then he would have stuck around if they didn't ignore him and treat him like shit. And boy, if you're such a competitor and you hate this organization so much, wouldn't it be great to be able to have a chance to beat them twice a year? Every year that you play going forward? Wouldn't that be great? I know you guys are like, yeah, they're never doing that in division. Think about that. Would Watson, there's got to be a small part of Deshaun Watson that would be like, you know what? So you mean I get to play this team that I hate right now so much twice a year and have the opportunity to whoop their ass twice a year for fucking with me like they did? Oh, I'm in. I'm in. Because look, guys, you're losing Deshaun Watson. If the rumors are true, if all of this pomp and circumstance within the media and the posturing by Deshaun and the cryptic tweets and everything, this is done. He's gone. So what you have to hope for is that he approves whatever trade you build. And he's probably given the Texans a list of teams. If he hasn't, he needs to, but he needs to say, I would play here. I'm telling you. There's the Jets. Now, look, I know somebody came out and said they would draft Devontae Smith over Trevor Lawrence. And look, Devontae Smith might be the next Julio Jones. He might be the next Mike Evans. He might be the next DeAndre Hopkins. It's true. But if you got garbage thrown to the kid, what does it matter? There are plenty of good receivers just floundering because they have nobody to throw them the ball. This league starts and ends with the quarterback position, period. Which is also why Tom Brady is greater than Bill Belichick. I digress. Chandler says the Jags would say no. Would they? Would they? They're in a complete rebuild. But would they say no? And getting one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL to build around? He's still young. You're acting like Deshaun Watson's 34 years old. Guys, Tom Brady's 43. How old is Deshaun Watson? You're telling me Deshaun Watson can't play until he's 38? Yes, I know he's a running quarterback, but the dude can sling it. Deshaun Watson is 25 years old. This dude has another decade minimum left in him. This ain't like the Jags are like, well, we got to rebuild, so fuck it. Well, that's who you rebuild around. Is Deshaun Watson. Who are they rebuilding around right now? It's going to be Trevor Lawrence. But he's an unproven commodity, which is what I've been preaching to you guys. Proven commodities are better than unproven guys you don't know that are rookies. Ask any person in the NFL, they would rather have Deshaun Watson over anybody in this draft or any other draft because he's proven. I'm telling you, if you're losing him, this isn't as crazy as you think. This isn't as crazy as you think. This is a win-win for both teams. The Texans right now might as well be in rebuild mode. Let's be real. If they lose Deshaun Watson, they're in a full-on ass rebuild. And the difference to me would be, are you going to rebuild around a less favorable prospect at quarterback? I mean, to me, Trevor Lawrence seems like the most reliable option available in the draft. That's why he's going to go number 1. I don't know. I mean, to me, it kind of makes sense. Even though it's in the same division, this is a win-win for both teams. And now you can get Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, Deshaun Watson, Clemson. They get a rivalry going. This isn't a bad thing. Rev said, can we just all agree that the Texans are going to fuck this up either way? Yeah, probably. They'll probably trade him for like fucking Jared Goff or, the Giants or some bullshit. But I'm telling you, having the number 1, when a team with no prospects, with no draft picks, you can flip that in one moment and have the number 1 pick in the draft that has a quarterback whom most believe to be a cornerstone franchise quarterback caliber player. It's a dream scenario. Now, here's the thing. If the Jets had the first pick and not the second pick, it would be a no-brainer to send Deshaun Watson to New York. But is it? Unless you have a fail-proof backup plan with a proven quarterback, then you trade with the Jets and you get in Devontae Smith. What the hell? Devontae? What is that his name? Why am I blanking on the dude's name? Why did I say, is it? I don't know why I'm thinking. Yes, okay. I don't know why I freaked out. I was like, is that not his name? They'll trade him for former Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. Jesus Christ, that's my point. Louise, they're going to fuck this up. You can't rebuild around a quarterback making $37 million. No, yes, you can. You absolutely can. You're talking about a quarterback that is a cornerstone of a franchise, period. We know this. Deshaun Watson is one of the 4 or 5 best quarterbacks in the league, period. You're telling me you can't build around that? You're crazy. You're crazy, Walt. All right. Who's the last national championship quarterback to be somewhat successful in the league? Honest question. Deshaun Watson! The fuck are you talking about, White Magic? Deshaun Watson! Jesus. Deshaun said, I can have Foles on a plane right now. I told y'all you'd think I was crazy. It's not as crazy as you guys are so reactionary and like, that's stupid. Everyone else tells me that's stupid. That has to be stupid. We're like White Tragic. White Magic's like, I forgot he won. You fucking somebody put White Magic in a 5-minute timeout. That is the dumbest goddamn chat message. Name another quarterback that won a national title that's any good in the NFL. The fucking guy involved in the trade. Jesus, White Magic. Hot Take Monday. I know. I need to come up with some crazy ass thing. It's 2 hot takes in one day. 2 hot takes in one. Did you get him, Rev? Did you put him in a timeout? Please give him a 5-minute timeout. Yeah, 2 hot takes in one day. Brady greater than Belichick. Trade Deshaun Watson in the division for the number 1 pick in the draft and get Trevor Lawrence. I am killing it on the crazy hot takes. And I know some of you are like, this is stupid. It's not as dumb as you think it is. I mean, it's not going to happen. But there is some logic in the thought process, and it doesn't matter that this came to me in a dream. Hot Sports Opinion Monday. Oh, that's hilarious. Are Cece and Donna fighting now? I love it. Cece said, how can you forget they beat... Oh, Donna said, how can you forget they beat Bama? Exactly, White Magic. Oh, stupid ass. Look, I've had some dumb takes, but that was the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard. Okay, What was the other? Oh, we need to talk about UFC 257 because I think I got everything else out of the way on sports. Let's talk about, hey, wake up. Conor, wake up, buddy. This is no time to be asleep, Conor. You're in the middle of a fight. Oh, boy. And just like that, it's like Thanos snapped and the Bernie memes were gone. And the Conor memes are all the rage now. And if one of you put him asleep back here, I'm going to be so pissed. It doesn't work. Chandler said, every insult you throw at White Magic makes him stronger. He's like he feeds on it. You guys, let's talk about UFC 257. Here's the thing about what happened. Was I surprised that Dustin Poirier beat Conor McGregor? Yes. Was I even more surprised that he knocked him out? Yes. But here's how this works. It was a brilliant game plan on the part of Dustin Poirier and his camp. Here's why. Here's what you need to know about this fight and why it went the way it did. All right? Yeah, Conor was a minus 350 favorite at one point. When I saw it, he was a minus 250. Poirier was a plus 250. Here's why it went the way it did. And Tony said leg kicks destroy punchers, but here's why that's the case. All right. Everybody has this misconception that a good striker, that a good boxer, which is what Conor is. He's definitely a boxer. But everybody has this notion that it's all hands. Like, oh man, his hands are amazing. Let me tell you what makes a good striker. Footwork. And Conor McGregor has great footwork. If you notice, everyone compliments Conor McGregor on controlling distance. Even guys that have fought him in the past, Nate Diaz. Everybody that's fought Conor said he is the master at distance. He knows exactly how far his punch is from your face and your punch is from his face. That doesn't happen with your hands. That happens with your legs and with your feet. That is why when you talk to boxing coaches and MMA striking coaches, they'll tell you that the number one most important thing is footwork. You got to get your footwork down. It keeps your spacing. It keeps your base. It allows you to move in and out of range. This is why it was so genius and why it shouldn't have been a surprise after watching the fight unfold that what happened was Conor being knocked out. Because when Dustin Poirier started working that calf with that low leg kick, it started to slow down Conor McGregor. It took away his brilliance of footwork. It took away his ability to control the distance. It slowed him down. All of those things occurred in this fight. And now Conor was left with having to stay in range and trade. And Dustin Poirier knew that. If you watch the fight, you can see that as he started tagging him with those counter right hooks, he would point. He'd be like, I got you. I know what's happening here. You're in my range now. You can't bounce out. You can't, because if you look earlier in the fight, Conor was landing his jab at will. He was destroying Dustin Poirier's face with that jab because he was able to bounce in, hit him with that jab, bounce back out. He'd bounce in, hit him with a combo, two-piece him up, bounce back out. And Dustin looked slow. And it's not that Dustin Poirier was slow. It's that Conor's footwork is impeccable. But then those leg kicks started to land. He started to destroy that calf slowly. It started to slow him down. Conor's not going to switch stances. That's not a thing he works on. It started to slow him down. And once you slow down and you're able to just bounce in and out of range, now you start getting caught. Your punches start becoming more predictable. And that's when the fight turned. That's when it all changed. So my point is, for those of you that maybe don't keep up with fighting or UFC like some folks do, the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to actually clean it up, Katie, but I totally understand. Thanks for being here, sweetie. The fact of the matter is, when you're able to keep your footwork, or you can control whether the other guy can continue to bounce in and out like that, you're controlling the fight now. Hands are one thing, but it's all predicated on the footwork. So, if you don't know the striking game, if you don't know how this works, that's what happened in this fight. Dustin Poirier did not outbox Conor McGregor. He took away the one thing that allows Conor McGregor to be so dominant, and that's the footwork. He tore that left leg up. That left leg wasn't allowing Conor McGregor to get in and out of range as quickly as possible. And then Dustin Poirier started landing shots. And then he knew, I got him. He knew that left leg was hurt, or that right leg was hurt. He knew Conor couldn't move as quickly, and he started tagging him, and it was only a matter of time. And you could literally see it happen. Now, Michael Chandler is going to be an issue. He made cool. I mean, that was nasty, his fight with Dan Hooker. Disgusting. Michael Chandler is going to be an issue in the UFC. Because Dan Hooker is not a gatekeeper. You know, Dan Hooker isn't a guy that, well, let's just see what the kid's got. That was a co-main event. Michael Chandler's debut in the UFC was a co-main event against one of the best fighters in the division. And he made it look easy. So, are we going to see a Conor McGregor Khabib rematch? Probably not yet. We got to get this trilogy out of the way, right? And then I think what happens is, as the UFC continues to try to convince Khabib to come back, whoever wins the trilogy might have to face Michael Chandler, because he'll have another fight against somebody not named Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov. And he'll probably win that fight, and he'll either get the winner of the Poirier-McGregor trilogy, or maybe he's got to fight Khabib, and the winner of the trilogy faces the winner of that fight for the strap. I don't know. But all of a sudden, there's a lot of good drama. There's a new player in town, and it's going to be really interesting. Rev said, how long before the UFC makes a 3-person fight? Not going to happen. Not happening. And Tony says Khabib is not coming back. Money talks, Playboy. Money talks. Here's my other thought on the 257 card. I don't like the new Conor McGregor, and I brought it up to Laura Senko when she was on the show on Friday. And I said, I'd like the edge that Conor had. You know, there was this whole like, I like your ketchup or hot sauce or whatever the fuck Poirier has. He's like, I like your whiskey. We should trade it. You can help me. And I'm such a nice guy. Conor McGregor lost his edge. He's been humbled outside of the ring through all these court cases and drama and bullshit. And it's caused him to, and look, Laura's like, well, you know, you have kids and he's matured and I get all that. He's lost his edge. I think he got too big for his britches. He thought he was untouchable. And then he found out outside of the cage, you're not untouchable. And he'll start to have things in his personal life happen and things criminally take place. He became the villain instead of the most loved guy. There was a point when Conor McGregor was the most cheered and loved guy in the UFC. And then he started to become the villain. He had a heel turn and people were like, man, fuck this dude. I hope he gets his ass whooped. Because there's the difference in like talking shit, like being The Rock, right? Where even when The Rock in wrestling was the bad guy, people loved the dude because he knew how to do it. Conor didn't. You don't start throwing dollies through bus windows and expect the fans to still cheer for you. But I think what we've seen is Conor lost his edge, whether through however you think it happened. But I think that in turn, he's gotten soft when it comes to his fights because of that. And it sucks. Because it made for good promotion, but it also made for a really good fighter in the cage. Now, that being said, I'm not going to say that's the entire reason he lost. Because I asked Laura Senko on Friday. And by the way, go watch the videos. Well, she did great. And I hope she comes back because I really enjoyed having her on the show. But there's another thing going on here. And it's ring rust. And it showed. And he talked about it. And Laura talked about it. And that's a real thing. So I think if Conor McGregor is serious about becoming a contender or being the best fighter in the UFC again, he's the biggest draw. And at one point he was the best fighter in the sport. But if he's serious about doing that, he's got to he's got to quit messing around with the boxing. And he's got to fight 2 to 3 times a year. Because the fame and the money and everything else, that took the place of the training and the fighting and taking this serious. So he needs to refocus, but it might be too late. He's getting older. Tony said Dana ate it up. No, he was not always the villain, Mark. That is not true. I remember watching this kid who I was like, who is this guy? His striking is amazing. And then being like, hello, they're always after me, Lucky Charms, or whatever he said when he was young and just first in the UFC. Everybody cheered for this dude like, whoa, this cat is legit. What a fun fighter to watch. And then he slowly got better and more popular, won the belt. Everybody was like, this is awesome. And then he became a massive shit talker, and it was great. But then it got real, and the anger got real with Khabib. And then people were like, whoa. And then he became a villain. So no, he was not always the villain. It happened. But he started as John Wessling would say, he started huffing his own farts. Can't do it. So anyways, that was my thoughts on UFC 257. I don't think I have any other notes in my notebook. What else did I write about it? McGregor was all class, which he was at the end, as was Dustin. Yeah, and then I wrote, McGregor just doesn't have his edge. Oh, and then I just talked about footwork. It was a beautiful fight. But he doesn't have his edge. Conor is Ronda Rousey. Yes. Very similar paths, Tony. Great point. At one point beloved, and then became the heel, and then got too full of themselves and thought they were untouchable, and then got their ass whooped and got humbled, and now they're questioning, do they want to be here? All right. Everybody does love their own brand. Yep. Rev said, I'm very casual. Always thought everyone hated McGregor. No. McGregor has not always been hated. I promise you guys this. When he was new to the UFC, people were like, who is this guy? He's got amazing striking. He's dynamic. He's fun. He's funny. Who is this cat? And he slowed it. That's why he's got the following that he has, because he was so liked before. He turned into a heel. So, I digress. All right, I think that's all the sports we got. That's it. All right, let's talk a little bit about your streaming situation. Let's talk about this for a second. What do you pay for streaming? What do you pay? Like, are you paying cable and streaming? Because that's what I'm doing right now. I just cannot cut the cord and go strictly streaming, and I don't know why. But I got an email, was it Friday or Saturday? Maybe it was Sunday morning. I don't remember. I got an email from Netflix that said, hey, we're raising prices another $1. We're going to start charging $13 or whatever. I remember when Netflix was like $9.99. It's almost $14, $15. That doesn't seem, that's double. Or not double, but that's 50% higher. It's getting crazy. It's getting out of hand, Netflix. And they, we got to make all these movies. And then they fucked us because, let's be real, people. The reason why we got a price increase last time from Netflix is they went out and bought the rights to The Office. They went out and bought the rights to The Office. It costed them $1 bajillion. They had to raise our rates just so we could watch The Office. And The Office isn't even around anymore. I love Netflix. But God damn it, stop raising rates every 5 months, 6 months. Wallace said it was $6.99 in the beginning. Holy shit, was it really? I think I got on at $9.99 because I used to go and get them out of the red box at the fucking McDonald's. So I pay for Netflix. I have Hulu. I have Amazon Prime, but that's included with my Amazon Prime. But some of you have that, plus you have Disney Plus. There's the Discovery Plus, which has like 5 or 7 channels. It's interesting. I was telling Nora, it's interesting to watch what's slowly happening. Before long, we are going to be paying more for our streaming services than we do for cable and have less channels. Think about that. Discovery Plus. How much is Disney Plus, by the way? How much is Disney Plus? Disney Plus is $6.99 a month, so $7. So you're paying $14 for Netflix, right? You're paying about that much for Hulu, so that's $30 plus another $7 for Disney, plus another $7 for whatever other streaming service you're into. There was an article that came out that said the average person is now paying $47 a month for streaming services. $47 a month. Here's the crazy thing. So it says the survey found Netflix was the #1 streaming service. 81% of respondents saying they were subscribers. Amazon Prime Video listed second, but we all have that because we all have Amazon Prime. Hulu at 56%, Disney Plus at 47%. Oh, don't forget HBO Max. A lot of you have that, 22%. And then you've got the Peacock, which is, I guess, NBC, is at 18%. And then Apple TV had 14% of the market. But if you think about that, the average person says they're paying $47 for their streaming services. And let's just say that, with Netflix, obviously you don't get channels, you get Netflix and whatever programming they have. Same thing with Hulu, same thing with Amazon Prime. And then you go out and you get the HBOs, you get the Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, whatever it is. You may end up with, let's call it 40 channels. Not a COVID cough. You may end up with 40 channels. I don't know what I pay for cable. Let me go look real quick. Because my point is, there's going to come a time sooner rather than later. And I told Nora this. There's going to be a moment in time where we pay more for less when it comes to watching TV. Because right now I have hundreds of channels with cable. I do. I have hundreds of channels with my Uverse subscription, as well as I have Netflix and all this other shit. And I don't use all 100 channels, but I have them available. But if you're paying $5 for 5 channels, you're going to price yourself back up to cable in no time. And it becomes there comes a moment where it's like, what's going on? There used to be value in streaming packages. Jen said my Netflix is $20. Jen, what the hell you doing? Yeah, Johnny Johnson said you get Hulu, Disney, and ESPN for $13. Okay, so you get Netflix for $13. You get the Hulu, Disney, ESPN for $13. That's $26. You get Discovery Plus for $5. That's $31. HBO Max is how much? How much is HBO Max? I think you guys get where I'm picking up what I'm putting down here. Damn, Jen said I have the premium with 4 screens. Fancy. Ain't nobody getting no 4K. $47 is on average what people pay for streaming. What's going on over here? I'm trying to pull up my cable bill. And you're not getting hundreds of channels. So then it's like, well, do I want to cut the cord? Because at least with cable, I have the flexibility, and I can add HBO, and then I get HBO and the other shit for the $9.99. So Total Dallas says HBO is free if you're an AT&T customer, but you got to be paying for their cable. Frank Louise says it's $15 otherwise. Let me see what I pay for my cable. I'm pulling it up. I gotta pee again. Is it time? Shit, still got 20 minutes. I gotta pee. I don't even have a break scheduled in between the breaks. Damn, my TV and video is $176. I have the AT&T Uverse U300. It's $147. Plus, I pay $7 for HD. Plus, I pay $10 for the broadcast TV fee. Plus, I pay 11 cents. What? For a regulatory cost. 81 cents for recovery, state recovery fee. $1.65 for Texas County District sales tax. And then $10.31 for state sales tax. Here it is. This is my cable bill. Hold on. There it is. That's my cable bill. Why am I paying that much, number one? And number two, if you start thinking about how many channels I get 300 channels for $150. That's 50 cents a channel. If you're paying $50 for 50 channels, you're paying double per channel than you are with this package. Here's the difference, though. At least you're getting the channels that you know you'll watch. Because a lot of these 300, I don't watch that shit. I don't give a shit about half of these things. But that's a lot of money, man. My total bill, because I have my TV, cable, internet, and my wireless all in one. The damn bill is $350 a month. It's a lot. It sure is hot in here. Let's turn the fan on for a second. I don't know. If you can hear it, tell me. I'll turn it off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's in the Uverse 300. I need to go look. Let's see what the Uverse 300 is. What the hell is this? AT&T offers live TV. What the fuck is this? There's AT&T TV now? Yeah, I know, D-Mata. I know. I'm going to share my screen for a second. Hopefully there's no personal information. I don't think there is. Check this shit out. Look at this. I'm going to share this. So this is apparently, there's AT&T Uverse and AT&T TV, and I have AT&T Uverse. Voice remote, ability to search. Like, what am I doing? They're no longer selling Uverse. I just saw this. At the very top of this screen, let me drag this down here. Oh, that just fucking... Oh, I can't scroll. It literally says at the top of my screen, they're no longer selling Uverse. What am I doing with my life? Well, I got to look into this. That's a lot of money. This is way too much money. And people are saying, oh, I pay $47 for streaming. I'm paying $147 plus Netflix and Hulu. And I need to just go with Disney Plus. Jesus Louises. But Nora is so old school. She'd be like, wait a minute. I can't watch the Hallmark Channel around Christmas. Which, by the way, the Hallmark Channel is the female version of football. The winter comes, the Hallmark channels, don't disturb me while I'm watching the Hallmark Channel. It's like Nora wants to build a woman cave and be like, I'm watching Hallmark Channel in here. You leave me the fuck alone. Some of you have YouTube TV, Fubo. I don't even know what that is. Total Dallas says, Uverse uses too much data on the network. That's why it's going away. Truck driver Pookie says, I have an unlocked Fire Stick. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of those. I don't know. That just seems like a lot of money. But then I see like this Discovery Plus, and Nora's like, oh, like my sister-in-law Nancy has YouTube TV and she's added Discovery Plus. But all these different packages, everybody's going to start siloing themselves into $5 to $10. Because watch, Discovery Plus starts off at $4.99. It's going to be $9.99 before long. And now you're paying $10 for 5 channels. Doesn't make sense. It's going to get, at the end of the day, you're going to have more control over what you want to watch, but it's going to cost you a lot more. And that's the point of all this. Is that, yeah, you can cancel Uverse and cable and buy individual streaming packages, but you're going to pay more per channel in the long run than you would if you had Uverse. And you're like, well, but I get to choose what I watch. Well, you can still choose what you watch with Uverse. The difference is you got a lot of shit you don't watch that you're paying for. Such is life. Hey, did you know that you have taste receptacles in your balls? Oh, if you have kids in the room, Katie, she turned it off. There's this article that came out not only is this a big, it's a trending topic, and what is it? It's not viral. It's there's like a new viral challenge. And basically what they're saying is, the challenge is to dunk your nuts in soy sauce and see if you can taste it. Because the testicles have taste receptors in them. Yes, I know. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? But your testicles have taste receptors. It says there's a tricky little difference between the taste receptors on the tongue and those in the testicles. The tongue responds to taste and we decide whether food is edible. The testicles respond to taste as chemical substances to decide whether to make more or less sperm and testosterone. Reverend said he's been doing this challenge since 1997. So stupid. Oh my God, How's you're an idiot. Here's the problem though. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. So I was reading the article and the science behind it, and they're saying that like the taste receptacles on your tongue are like little hairs. I was like, like we got hair on our tongue? That's what they are. Jen's like, I hate y'all. That's what they are. It's little hairs. And what happens is when you taste something in your mouth, it's like little nerve endings. And then those send signals to your brain, and then it processes the signal like a computer. Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. And it goes, oh, that's sweet, or that's sour, or that's this, or that's that, bitter, whatever it is. And then your brain gives you that information. And that's when you go, if it was. So you have apparently, and it's been validated in a study, you have very similar taste receptacles on your testicles. So they're taste receptacles. But D-Mata said, I will pay you $100 if you do this live. I am not dipping my balls in soy sauce live on YouTube. I will get banned for that. It's a terrible idea, D-Mata. That's why you'll never be producer of this show. Now, here's the big problem. House, D-Mata, and everybody else doing this challenge. The taste receptacles are on the inside of your nuts. They're not on the outside. So, ladies, have no fear. They're on the inside. So unless you cut open your balls and pour soy sauce on the inside of your sack, you're wasting your time. I mean, it's fun to dip your nuts in soy sauce. Let's all be real. It's just a hoot. It's just a good old time. Wallace said someone already did it. Just don't show your nuts. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Mark G said, apparently your asshole has them too? Now that I don't know. That I would have to look up. And tell me what you sizzle. What? That's weird. Now, I would have to Google that. Does your... No, I'm going to use scientific terms. Does the anus have taste receptors? Recently, this is according to businessinsider.com. Recently, researchers are finding them present all over the body from the mouth to the anus. Taste receptors have been found in the stomach, intestines, pancreas, lungs, and brain. No wonder y'all have bad taste in clothes. That's true, though. This is even on Food Beast. So I will expect all of you to not pour soy sauce in your butthole. Please. You won't taste. I mean, you might taste it if it travels up. Please don't. Stop dipping your nuts in soy sauce. The receptors are on the inside. Stop trying to pour soy sauce in your butthole. It's not going to work. These are all bad ideas. Hey, real quick, I just want to remind you guys, if you're late to the show, I am trying to get some PS4 games. Please mail them to me. This is my P.O. box right here. 3431 Rayford Road, Suite 200-416, Spring, Texas 77386. I'm donating my PS4 to the Bay Area Turning Point so that the women, children, and others who are victims of domestic violence and sexual violence have a little time, especially the kids that are at the shelter, have a game system to play on to forget. So please, if you would, deckheads and those watching that maybe aren't on the Patreon or the Discord that would see that later. If you have a PS4 game that you're not using anymore, maybe you've upgraded to a PS5, maybe you're moved over to Xbox because the new one came out, or a Nintendo Wii or a Switch or whatever. If you have any PS4 games laying around, I surely would appreciate it if you sent them to me so that I can take them along with my old PS4 when I donated and these kids have some games to play. I certainly do appreciate it. If you have any. Also, I just want to remind you one more time, deckheads, that we do have Super Bowl squares. All you got to do is email Jen at BarryOnDeck.com. That's Jen, 2 N's, Jenn, at BarryOnDeck.com, and you'll be able to get into the Super Bowl squares. At the time that the show started, there were 54 squares left. I anticipate that number has drastically changed. I don't know what it is currently without going and looking, which would take more time because I'd have to have my login and everything. But going on air, there were 54. I imagine those are going quickly. I could be wrong. But you better hurry up. So email Jen. There's 24 left, Jen said. There are only 24 squares left. They're $5 a piece. We're giving away all the money. I mean, we talked about, do we donate? No, we said the deckheads are so great year round. Let's just win some money. Fuck all that other stuff. So there are 24 squares left, $5 a piece. You win 125 in each quarter, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You better get on it. All you do is email Jen at BarryOnDeck.com. She's going to send you a link to sign up, and then you can PayPal or Venmo her the money, and it's all taken care of. So Aaron J. Bryant, you better get on it. Send her the email right away. Jen at BarryOnDeck.com, 2 N's. Get on the squares. Send me your PS4 games. All of that is appreciated. And here one more time. There's the address. 3431 Rayford Road. Suite 200-416. All right. Well, I think that's it. Let me look at my rundown here. We do have more shit to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to carry some of this stuff over. There's this Valentine's Day card that has booze in it. There's a bill, a $20 bill with a banana sticker on it for $125,000. A mom found somebody living in her attic, which is one of my worst fears ever. the 10 safest and unsafest states during the pandemic. We got to get to all that, but that's going to happen tomorrow. Not today, because that's it. And I got to pee. So this might be the shortest outro. The shortest outro. And be like, peace, bitches. I won't do that to you. But we definitely ain't making it until 4 o'clock. You're lucky to give me the 357 as bad as I gotta pee. And I shouldn't have drank this water and this Diet Coke. This Diet Coke that I'm working on, plus 2 coffees, plus my shot of Jamie. Hey, thanks for being here. I hope you had a fun time. Do me a favor. Spread the word. I know Brandon Martinez brought a new friend to the show. I'm gonna need you guys to do the same. Let's grow this bad boy together. So go grab a friend for tomorrow's show. If you don't have any friends like Tony Garza, I don't know what to do. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's real simple. Just hit that sub button. There's a little bell. Turn that on. Give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, be safe, be kind, and most important, love each other. See y'all tomorrow. I gotta be so bad. It hurts. Daddy's making a YouTube video!